50 Cent drops Ghetto Quran. Then at one point, 50 Cent and Ja Rule get into it. Now, from what I understand, and I've talked to a few people about this, one of 50 Cent's people ends up robbing Ja Rule for a watch. And 50 kind of got thrown into that situation because of his affiliation with it.
Right.
So a fist fight happens. And, depending on who you talk to, you get a slightly different story. Allegedly 50 punched Ja, but then Ja said he punched 50. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? But there was some sort of altercation and things started getting bad. And at the time, Ja Rule was the big rapper out of Queens.
Okay.
So did you know about this beef between 50 Cent and Ja Rule?
Yeah, I became aware of it when I started. And it was a big part of the case because, for a variety of reasons, namely that 50 got shot by, since Supreme had insinuated himself into Murder Inc. Records, into being their protector. So, yeah, there was another thing too where I heard it was a chain at one time. Maybe that was in Atlanta or something.
It was a watch. Yeah.
Okay. I know Supreme got a chain back one time, I think, for him.
Maybe it was a chain. Yeah, I mean, the story's a bit fuzzy.
I think 50 lost a watch in one of those fights or something, too. There was something weird. I think that's where the watch...
Ja lost the watch and 50 got the watch back in exchange for a chain or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
No. Maybe it's the other way. No. Yeah, I think Ja's chain got taken and 50 got it back in exchange for a watch. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what takes that from that level of 50, I guess, is jealous of Ja Rule, right? He's talking down to him. He's, whatever. You might take it as jealousy. You might take it as competition.
Yeah.
It gets violent where people, throwing, fists at each other. How it gets to the level where McGriff goes out searching for 50 all over the place trying to kill him how does it go from there to there is amazing. So I don't know what might have happened in between 50 and McGriff, but obviously 50 is a target. He knows he's a target. If you look at the two-way pager records that we found, historical records, you'll see unknown people saying 50's on Guy Brewer and 155th or wherever. So they were out looking for him. And so Kenneth McGriff, Chauncey Milner, whose street name was Godby, Rob Lyons, whose street name was Son or Rob Love, they go to 50's grandmother's house and wait for 50, and the rest is history. They shoot him up, and they flee. They take the car to Brooklyn. They give the car to an associate of the Supreme team and tell him to hide it. And years later, we actually found that car too. He hid it by parking it in a parking garage, and then the city marshals took it for unpaid whatever, and we actually found that car had traps in it and everything else. And so 50 miraculously survives that. And that story is corroborated. So,
okay. So, number one, there was always these rumors that Supreme was actually 50's real father and stuff like that. No truth in that? Okay. I didn't think so, but...
one thing I heard is that 50 was tight with a drug dealer from Long Island. And I forget the guy's name. And it always bothered McGriff. I don't know if that's true or not. And then he kind of, when McGriff would come around the hood, he wouldn't suck up to him. He would just kind of like, whatever he would, and I think it left a bad taste in McGriff's mouth, and once the stuff with Ja started, whatever. But there has to be more to it to go from fighting in the street to setting up the guy to kill him. I mean, so how many more incidents were there? Did McGriff tell him to knock it off and he told him to go fuck himself? I don't know. But to murder a guy, to try to murder a guy over stuff like that is just insane, stupid, you know?
What about 50's mother? Because she was in the streets as well and she got killed. Was she working for Supreme at one point?
You know, I used to know the story. I don't think it was Supreme. I think it might have been like Cat or one of those guys.
Huh.
I don't think it was Supreme.
Okay.
The area doesn't make sense for it to be Supreme, but who knows? I don't even know if 50 really would know. You know what I mean? He's got to be just a little kid, right? I mean,
Right. So the murder of 50's mother is still an unsolved case.
yeah, I had asked around about it, but I had other, things going. But yeah, I'd love to see the folder and see what's in it.